After demolishing Southampton on Monday, Cherries will be looking to outfox Leicester and get back-to-back wins in the Premier League. The Foxes, they are a team in need of points, but look, so are we, because we've got some tricky games after this one. Famous last words, but this feels like the ideal game for the Cherries to pick up 3 points, because Leicester, they are gettable, and in this big match preview, we're going to tell you why. Welcome to Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
Now, Tom, this is the part where we montage up the last game we played at the opposition's home ground, and it was a good one. What a day, but has anyone seen Philip Billing?
Yeah, doesn't feel like we have much since then, but it was a big moment, and like we've said loads of times, whatever is happening now with Billing, where it doesn't look like he can even make the squad that season, and that little run in particular, some massive goals, mate, and I remember at the time thinking that was a huge win, huge away win. Was it an error from Maddison?
It was a short pass back, which Billing capitalised on, a great goal, and that sparked 3 away wins in a row, because that was the memorable game against Spurs that was followed up after that. But then also Saints beating them again
3 points
at St Mary's. But it wasn't the last time we played them, Tom, was it? Last time we played Leicester was in the Cup this year.
Well, I can't remember this game.
In February.
Well, I can't remember this game.
It went to extra time, and then Fatawu with that wonder goal. Yeah. Yes, we thought it was the ideal opportunity for us to progress into the quarterfinals and then the semi-finals, but alas,
yes, I do remember that.
It wasn't to be, and Leicester emerged victorious. If you're brand new here, there are a couple of things you can do to help us out.
Yeah, give us a big fat like, that would be much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button as always, and click the little bell, and you'll see when all the stuff comes out, because there's going to be lots of it.
Yeah, so what we got? Fan reaction after the game?
Yeah, then the vlog, you'll be up all night, make sure that's up for us after the win. I'll do the old player ratings exclusively on Kofi, and Monday we'll talk about it in more detail on the second look, mate, which I enjoyed this one. We had Kirk on, didn't we? And the one we just done, but it was, I tell you what, that was for the first time for a while. I thought, I can't wait to do the second look. Just to talk about that win. So, hopefully we can do that again.
Yeah, not a good week for the South Coast teams, apart from Bournemouth, by the looks of it. Pompey getting smashed 6-1, men and women. What's going on?
I saw that. I saw that. Was it Stoke? They lost 6-1 to, and I thought it's been a really tough week for Southampton, because now they're not even going to get their sexy little derby, are they?
Well,
their amazing rivalry that never happens, because they're going to go down again.
I saw they tweeted about them this morning, in fact, which maybe shows where they're at. But alas, if you want to join our Ko-fi, our Telegram group, which is basically like WhatsApp, it's a really nice community. Seem to get all the latest news first, but it's a really good place to be.
Yeah.
That's for people who donate monthly to the channel, that show their commitment every month. Just go to afcbpodcast.com/coffee, and it really, really does mean a lot and helps us out massively. As you can see, we are at the Queen's Park, and we were here until the early hours on Monday night / Tuesday morning, and it was brilliant to see some of the media exposure that this place got as a result of Julian Araujo. I feel as though we talk about him all the time. It's like Tyrone Mings all over again when he played at Little Down. We are milking it, but it's good exposure for the QP, and it was in the Daily Mail, it was in the Sun, AFCB put a reel out, Talk Sport were talking about it. It's gone viral, Tom.
Yeah, it was. At first I thought it was just because we were here, but apparently it was more to do with Julian turning up. But nice little blast of the past there with Tyrone Mings. When did he last kick a ball? But no, great to see Julian kept his word, didn't he? I'm sure a lot of you saw it, but said that he'd pop back down if we beat Southampton, and we went, yeah, right. Thought it's one of them things you say, but he did. Credit to him, and it was great atmosphere. And it was perfect, wasn't it? After beating them lot, and yeah, it's one of them now because of that after the game, it being on a Monday night. It's one of them home games now that I'll always kind of remember really, really fondly. Like, I remember what happened after the game, and obviously we absolutely smashed them lot. So it was it was lovely. And I'll call him by his name, a bit of respect. Little Ryan Fraser had a tough night. Rambo had a tough night. Southwestern trains literally elevated themselves in my mind. Tell you what, I always hate trains, not them bad boys.
No.
So it was a great night, mate, and I'm hoping for a great weekend as well to top it off.
Yeah. But you know whose international appearances have not been derailed recently? Dom Solanke, who today has been recalled to the England squad after quite a while in the wilderness for the Three Lions. It's amazing what a couple of goals does.
Yeah.
For when you play for a big team. So he's hit the target for Spurs at last, and he's been named.
Well, yeah, I think that the last time he got called up was when he was at Liverpool, wasn't it? So at Liverpool, he got 1 goal. At Tottenham, obviously, he's had 3 goals. He never got called up for Bournemouth. He had 77 goals. Yeah, I don't know what. It's just coincidence, obviously.
Must be.
It must be a coincidence, absolutely.
But club badge, not at all.
But yeah, obviously, that aside, I am chuffed for him. I am really chuffed for him because he's. Don't get me wrong, I thought he should have been in loads of previous squads, but yeah, I'm really glad he's hopefully going to get an opportunity. It is one of them things. Again, there's still a couple ahead of him, so he still do well to get on the pitch. But just to be seen by potentially the new permanent manager of Lee Carsley, see what he's like around the place and in training sessions, etc. Be really good for him. So yeah, I am pleased for him. But it's just laughable now. I mean, we said it numerous times. I'm no surprise whatsoever. No surprise at all.
No. Well, look, let's turn our attentions to Saturday, and it's our second game of the season against a newly promoted side. We know how the last one went. Last season, the Foxes won the title by beating Ipswich Town by a point, finishing with 97 points. Their manager at the time was Enzo Maresca. Now, of course, he was at Dean Court earlier this season with Chelsea, but the person to replace him is someone fairly well known to AFC Bournemouth fans. Steve Cooper, the former Nottingham Forest manager, also at Swansea as well. He was sacked by Forest in the December last season after a poor run of results. And it's fair to say, through overhearing a few conversations from Leicester fans, they're not overly convinced about him so far. Hasn't really had a chance to stamp his authority.
Difficult situation to be put in.
Very difficult. And also the fact that there's a Forest connection as well
of course.
Doesn't bode well.
And they've just seen a team, obviously because they're in the lower division, win every week. And you've got to come in and change that. You're going to change a lot of the identity of the way of playing because you're a completely different coach. And what's funny is this happened on the second look the other day, actually. I was just thinking of something in my head and then you put it up on the screen. I was just about to say to you, I swear we've got a really good record against Cooper teams. Do you know what it is? And then you've put it up.
Mate, there is some telepathy going on. So yeah, 5 matches we played against him. Drawn 1-1 at home versus Forest, a 3-2 win at Forest. 1-0 at home against Forest. And then before that, 3-0 home win against Swansea. And at their place, the first time we faced him, it was
0-0.
Goalless. And also, another little stat, Bournemouth are unbeaten against British managers this season. 1-1 against Eddie Howe, 3-2 against Sean Dyche, 3-1 against Russell Martin. How will we fare against Steve Cooper? Well, look, maybe quite well. No side has had fewer shots than them this season. They play sort of dull, low-risk football. But that said, in their last game at the Emirates,
weird game,
they gave Arsenal a bit of a scare.
It was a weird game, mate. And I think Cooper, in general, I remember we know a few Forest fans, and I remember speaking to them when they had him. And obviously they loved him because they went up. But even then, when we thought it was going well, they're like, oh, the football's a bit. So it doesn't surprise me that. And yeah, the Arsenal game was mental, mate, because honestly, that first half, it could have been 10-0 Arsenal. I mean, it was literally like they were playing a team 5 leagues lower. And then suddenly they get a goal and Leicester are back in it. But they've got to say, their goalkeeper, I hope he doesn't have a game like that because he was brilliant.
Really
Hermansen was superb. But they've still got some good players, mate. And it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we're still that team where, obviously we know, seeing the progression with Bournemouth, we're still that team. As much as we go, right, let's go to Leicester and get something, teams like Leicester, who are near the bottom scrapping, are going to go Bournemouth at home, is where we've got to pick our points up. So it will be a difficult game there. I don't think it'll be easy. It won't be as easy as the last team we just played, which was a walk in the park. So it'll be a tough game, but we've kind of had a week off, haven't we? Because the Monday night game was just training.
So Leicester have faced more shots than any other side in the Premier League this season. Even in that Arsenal game alone, they faced 34, which maybe underlines how well the keeper did. So look, it was thrown into the Foxes' den at the King Power. And in terms of transfer business that they've done, few players in, few players out. Any that stand out for you at all in terms of their transfer business?
I actually think Caleb Okoli looks like he could be a decent centre-half for him. Got him in from Atalanta, so he could be good. Skip was an interesting one because I think he's never quite got in at Tottenham, but I've always thought there is a player there. See how he gets on. Jordan Ayew is experienced Premier League player, and Edouard as well coming in from Palace. So they've done a bit, but whether it's enough, I'm not sure because they lost a few. But this is what I was just looking at quickly: is they let Tom Cannon go, didn't they?
Yes.
And we briefly mentioned it earlier.
He went to Stoke City on loan, I think.
He scored 4. He scored 4 against Pompey, and I think some of the Leicester fans are going, was that a little bit? Because there's a play, I know it's the Premier League, but yeah, you're never sure with stuff like that. But
because they're relying on JB Vardy at the moment.
That's what I mean. Who's obviously an unbelievable player? What a story! What like Leicester and Premier League legend, but he's getting on a bit. And yeah, Buonanotte as well was a player that's got flashes of brilliance in him. So I think they'll be fighting till the end. I really do. Do I think they'll stay above that dotted line, which they just are at the moment? I'm not sure, but I do think I think they're better than 1 or 2 teams comfortably. But it's going to be tight for them, I think.
5 teams have yet to register a win in the Premier League this season. Leicester are one of them. We're just looking at the league.
Can you name the others, please?
Yeah, I can. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Southampton, Crystal Palace, and Ipswich Town. Who we like.
Oh yeah, we don't mind it. But to be fair, they only lost to Liverpool, Man City.
Yeah, I know. So, you know what, there are some silver linings in some of Ipswich's performances, but Leicester City, not so much. Now, of course, there was a threat of a points deduction, which cheeky little loophole managed to avoid it. So they are above the dotted line. They could have been below it at this point, but Bournemouth, we are on 8 points. I think that win against Saints was important, just to cement what we've seen this season, because we've seen some really good things, and had we dropped points in that, only having 1 win from our first 6 games would have been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it would have, like you say, because the feel-good factor's been there, but as you said, but before Monday night, we'd only won 1 game, and that was the last 10-minute madness. So, yeah, good to get the points on the board in that game. And to be fair, I was just looking at Leicester then, and obviously it doesn't look great, they haven't won a game, but that means half of the games they haven't lost. If they got 3 points, so they've obviously drew 3 games out of 6. It's not, you know what I mean? If you're a newly promoted team, they haven't lost half the games. If you can word it in a way that you go, it's not too bad, is it?
No, that's true. And the first game of which, as you talked me through how Leicester have done this season, Tom, a really good point for them.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It was the first Monday night football of the season against Tottenham. And it looked like they were going to get blown away. A bit like what I said in the Arsenal game. And Tottenham couldn't finish their dinner, and then Leicester just kept themselves in it, and Alvarez popped up. So that was a really good point for them. Lost to Fulham 2-1. It's a difficult place to go. Obviously, smashed Tranmere in the cup. Villa at home, it's Aston Villa. We've just beaten Bayern Munich, for God's sake. You know, what a story they're having. And they gave them a game, 2-1. Like I said, these are all close. The Palace draw, I mean, you look at the league table and go, okay, that makes sense. But at the start of the season, I don't think people would have thought Leicester would go there and get something. So, decent point there.
Now, they were 2-0 up, weren't they?
Yes,
Palace came back really late.
Yeah, that's right. And then, you know, Everton draw. It's kind of what I think a lot predicted. Both teams, you know, probably too scared to lose it.
Yeah.
Their Warsaw one was a concern. They won on penalties because I think
Warsaw's penalties were awful.
I think Danny Ward saved every one.
Yeah, he did.
But the game itself, they played a relatively strong team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To just draw 0-0 was a bit of a worry, and then we've mentioned the Arsenal one, but really look at it in the general gist of it. It's not a disaster. None of them results are disastrous, are they? Their biggest defeat is to Arsenal, who are beating everyone. So you know, I don't think they're as bad as people think. I do think they're going to be a tough nut to crack.
One of the things that's worth noting is that they always score but always concede as well. So both teams to score anyone. Mark Jackson, get it on your bet slip. That's going to be interesting. But you know, equally Bournemouth haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 9 Premier League games. So that maybe underlines the reason to put that one on your bet 365. That's the longest run of doing so under Iraola.
I'm doing that little thing in my head where I'm just trying really hard to work out a last clean sheet and I can't.
No.
Someone let me know because I can't bother.
It's been a while. It has been a while. Right then, let's take a look at our head-to-head. And of late, it's been looking pretty good. Look, don't worry about the FA Cup. We'll forget about that one. But before that, 3 wins in a row, and we've had some pretty good one. One of them was in front of Bill Foley for the first time, I think, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I do remember that one.
I think that was the 2-1 in October 2022. We came back from 1-0 down.
Was that when Christie skanked one in at the end?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Honestly, Christie scored, didn't he?
Yeah, it did happen.
Could be his last bloody goal.
And then, of course, we know the 1-0 in the league. But apart from that, I mean, we've pretty much had the green. There was a spell like back in the 89, 90 where they got the double over us, but I don't know.
Little one down. You remember when they won the league, by the way? Remember when they won the Premier League?
Yeah.
We didn't lose to them.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't lose to them. I think it was only us and Arsenal that didn't lose to them. A good little quiz on that. We drew both games. One of them went down to 10 men, actually. I think Mara's missed a pen.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's a nice little stat to have. So, yeah, apart from that anomaly of a season, if you like, where, obviously everyone knows about Leicester, we've always kind of been either trying to scrap it out with them in the Prem or been to the better teams in the Championship. So it's always been quite interesting. That was a while ago. But, yeah, I still think it'll be a tough game, mate, but we've got a half-decent record for sure.
Played for both.
Oh, God.
Right. I'm going to give you a challenge of 5 names. Now, there are more than this. And look, we want you in the YouTube comments to fill in the rest of the names. It's no good us giving you all of them. So.
Are they on the screen? Because I don't want to see it.
They are not on screen now.
Okay. Maxi Gradle.
Ding.
I'm out. I'm really struggling with this one. Maxi Gradle. Trying to go back in time a little bit. Steve Claridge.
Yes, correct. Championship striker for us.
Oh, Jan Kermigan.
Of course.
Jan
who
Kermigan.
Famously missed...
oh, yeah, they don't like him. We love him, Leicester fans, by the way. We absolutely adore him. I'm really struggling. I don't want to... have you got any ones that are obvious? I'll tell you what. Didn't Ryan Bertrand go there for a bit?
Yes, he did. He did.
That's 4. Oh, go on, give me a clue for another one so they're not bored.
Defender with the same first name... first initial for the first initial of his surname, MM.
MM?
Yeah.
Mac Mills?
Yeah. There you go.
Didn't know he played. Vaguely, but yeah. Yes, there's got to be some more, aren't there?
Fill the rest in. Actually. Yeah, you know what? You did well with that. You really did well. And there, there's let's just take a look at, we won't mention these, but there's some big names there.
I'm annoyed I didn't.
Yeah, and that name as well. Can you fill them in? Let us know.
How is that? You're just making up names here.
Let's check out
the you're old in there.
Leicester City team news then, and they've got a few players out. Patson Daka, we were linked with, weren't we, once?
Yeah, we were.
Ryan Frank waxed lyrical about Daka. There's a text somewhere saying we're going to sign him, I bet you.
It was deadline day, and it looked like we were going to get Luis Sinisterra and Patson Daka, and Daka was the one that fell through. I think it was something to do with Leicester not having a replacement or something, but... that bothered in the end, but yeah, he's out at the moment. One of the goalkeepers out, I can't pronounce his name, but he never plays anyway.
And former Southampton defender as well.
Yeah, shame really, because that would be nice to see one of them.
Vestergaard.
Because they both played for Southampton, I always get confused about Bednarek and Vestergaard.
Yeah,
which the one at Leicester?
Same person.
Vestergaard's crap anyway, so that's not. So they haven't really got anyone that notably out, I wouldn't say. But yeah.
But in terms of their one to watch, we can maybe point to Wilfred Ndidi, who has 4 assists to his name. Only Saka in the Premier League has more, and his tally of 4 is only 1 fewer than Ndidi had all of last season for Leicester, but he's quite a threat. They got a couple of threats, I suppose, haven't they? They're players that we can look out for. Yeah. Some names that we already know, and Vardy's one that we mentioned.
Of course, and yeah, indeed he's an interesting one, because I think when he first come to England, he was more of a defensive midfield player, and then he's been given, with Skip and Winks in there, he's been given a bit of a licence. He's a good player. I quite like Mamadidi. Kind of plays off that left side most of the time. I think he's got something, so he'll be a threat. And like I say, they've got some decent players, mate. But I'm always going to be a little bit wary of Jamie Vardy. He's an absolute S-house, isn't he? And you'd love to have him in the team, I think. Fair play to him, just still rolling back the years, mate.
We've taken a look, thanks to Matt at Vitals, at the last 4 league games for Leicester, taking a look at their XG. So with that, 2 home games, Villa and Everton, also away at Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Leicester gained 2 points, which is potentially generous, because they've had the lower XG in every game. The average of approaching 2.5 XG conceded per game is now higher than Southampton's, setting a new record. So, look, this is going to be a really interesting fixture. The following graph compares the summary stats of Leicester and AFCB over the 4 games. As with the Saints game, as you will have seen on our preview, Bournemouth are in front in all of the key metrics, although both teams have actually scored the same number of goals, with Leicester scoring more than expected. Now, neither team play possession-based football. Both of us around the 40% mark. Who's going to have the ball, Tom?
I think they will.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they'll have the ball. I think Winks and Skip will get on it and they'll try and knock it around a little bit. And we'll keep doing our thing. And we'll try and be fast and aggressive in transitions. I think when you're the home team, there's a bit more of an impetus anyway on trying to have the bit of the ball. And I think we will feel a bit like we did in the early stages against Southampton, quite comfy with them having it. I think we're in a position now when you watch us every week that you think, actually, it's quite rare, but we're quite comfortable not having it.
Yeah.
Because we know when we have it, we can do things quickly. So yeah, I don't think it will be extreme, but I do think they'll edge the possession. As long as we edge the goals, mate, that's all that matters.
You'll have seen that Leicester concede a higher proportion from the set pieces, so hopefully more free kicks like we did on Monday. But one of the stats on Vitals that we picked out is we've had 39 corners this season, no goals. So that's maybe a place to improve our set pieces. Now, one of them was a goal, but it was disallowed. Watara against Newcastle, of course. So would be good to be better from corners. I mean, Lewis Cook isn't he's seemingly the main corner kick taker at the moment.
Yeah, you see how lethal he is in the air, get him in there.
Yeah, well, it was Alex Scott for a bit who absolutely whipped him in, but I don't think Lewis Cook's corners have been particularly bad as such, but I suppose it's the aerial threat that we've got. I mean, Senesi's the one that always nods it in. Zabani's not much of a threat in the air, is he, really?
He doesn't seem to be offensively, because he's good defensively from obviously he did get one against Luton last season. I think Senesi's due one, isn't he? But you got to remember, Senesi hasn't played every game. He had a few games out. So, yeah, I wonder if it could be time for Senesi to open his account for the season. But, I'd like to be a little bit... You do wonder if later on in games that could be something we could target with Unau as well. Dango's not always on the pitch, he's good in the air. Sinny's not always on the pitch, he's good in the air. So it's weird because I think we haven't scored from a corner, but I remember at the start of the season, all our goals were technically crosses. Everton game, all the goals were crosses.
Yeah.
So, we can score from them sort of areas. So I'm sure that'll improve at some point, hopefully at the weekend.
The presser is tomorrow. So look, any team news will be announced. But right now, only Tyler Adams, which is brilliant for us.
Yeah.
Now, Leicester City might be wondering who the player to watch is. But if they watch Sky Sports, if they look at social media, there seems to be one name on the lips of many, many football fans, and we know who that is.
Yeah, Antoine Semenyo. Looking pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is pretty good. He's the only player that scored more than one goal for us in this season, so he's always a threat. He always tries a shot, always aggressive, always on the front foot.
He's the second leading player in the Premier League for shots. Only Haaland's had more shots than him, which shows you where he's at.
Yeah, he's very good on either flank, either foot. So yeah, he'll cause some problems. He's caused everyone problems, hasn't he, really? And he obviously got man of the match on Monday when it was on the telly, and everyone's raving about him. I thought he's played better than that this season as well. So, but the goal against them lot on Monday was incredible as well, and just emphasise exactly what he brings to us. So yeah, he's clearly the main threat, mate. But we got good players, and hopefully Evan Nilsson's going to be one that we keep talking about, one to watch. Now he's got that first goal. He'll be looking to try and back that up with another one, I think. So we've seen a lot of players, Dom Solanke being one of them, get their first goal, and it's like, oh, thank God for that, and then you go and get another one. So I'm confident he's gonna score again at the weekend, mate.
Do you want to know who the referee is, Tom? No?
Nope.
The referee is Darren Bond.
Okay.
He was in charge of our game last time, home against Brighton in April 2023.
Woohoo.
Did we win that?
No, I don't care.
Doesn't even matter. His name's Bond, Darren Bond. Right, here's the teams. Okay, then let's start with... What? Oh, hang on, I know what you're doing here. I know what you're doing. How do you change so quickly?
That's good, isn't it?
Last time you did it with Evan Nilsson and a Brazil shirt, but this time you got a Dutch shirt on. Dan Juma doesn't play for us anymore though, mate.
No, he doesn't, mate, but Justin does. Justin Kluivert. And yeah, as you said, just randomly thought I'll wear a Brazil shirt on the last preview to try and manifest his first goal for the club.
He's not scored this season.
And it worked. So no, Justin Kluivert hasn't scored. Justin Kluivert's not scored this season, and just feel like he needs it now. He needs the boost. So I thought, I've got an Everton shirt, I'll get it on, and he's going to get his first goal of the season. He probably could have had one if he had taken the penalty.
Yeah.
But no, I fancy him this weekend, so I thought I'll wear it, mate.
I didn't quite realise that only Semenyo scored more than one goal for us this season. So
Yeah.
I've got a feeling.
I don't mind that though, because that means we're spreading it around a bit.
True. I've got a feeling that by the end of the Leicester game, there will be two players that have got 2 goals to their name,
So
or more than
you're
one
going-
goal. So
you're-
I reckon a brace from this one.
Oh, hello.
Maybe. But anyway, let's do the Leicester team.
Yeah.
4-3-3, we go
Yeah, I
for?
would have thought so pretty much. Hermansen would definitely be in goal. He was brilliant, as I mentioned, against Arsenal. The other one that was brilliant was James Justin, not known for his goals. But he scored 2, and one of them was an absolute peach, wasn't it?
That volley.
Yeah, it's
God.
brilliant. So he'll be at right full back. Wout Face and Akoli, who I mentioned earlier, I'm sure will continue as centre-halves. And Christensen, he had a tough time against Saka. He might have a tough time against Semenyo as well, so he's going to have to be on it. The 3 I kind of alluded to earlier in the midfield, I think stays the same. Skip and Winks will probably be a little bit deeper with Ndidi. I'm going to bring Ayew in on the right, just for his experience. They have been playing Buonanotte now and again, but I'm going to go Jordan Ayew, Mavididi off the left, and then the main man, Jamie Vardy, through the middle.
There is the Leicester team, indeedy. Right, Bournemouth. Like, what's it with having DDs in the Leicester? That's just weird. Anyway, Bournemouth 4-2-3-1. What's happening?
Yeah, Kepa in goal.
Yeah.
First clean sheet for Caps. Got that. Yeah, Kepa in goal. I'm going to bring in, this looks like I'm doing it on purpose, but I'm going to bring in my guy, Julian. It's Julian, isn't it?
Yeah, Julian.
Julian Araujo. I'm kind of doing it also because Kurt made a point on the second look that it seemed to have been, it might be a coincidence, that Smith's played the home games and Araujo's played the away games. And I do wonder the fact that he didn't bring him on, if he is already preparing to kind of go, right, Araujo's going to play in this one. Though Smithy is getting a bit older, and I think it's a comfortable rotation you can do. Start on the front foot, get ahead, you can bring Smithy on if you need to. So I'm going to go Araujo, Zabani and Celesi to continue at centre-back, with Milos Kerkez at left-back. Can't remove Cook or Christie in the middle.
Can't.
Just going to mix up a little bit. I'm going to only mainly because Dango has had that knock recently.
Yeah.
And he's such an impact off the bench anyway.
He rarely starts more than one game in it.
Yeah.
So
and
he's
also,
going to be off the bench.
it's also rare that this man, Justin Kluivert, is on the bench long. Yeah. And I just think maybe it was one they wanted to look at in the week, and Justin will come back in. So Semenyo probably off the right, Tav off the left, Kluivert back into the 10, and then Evan Nilsson up top. That's what I'm going to go for.
Love that. Okay, really interested to see what happens if you get this one right, mate. I swear they're listening. I swear they are. In terms of predictions, let us know what you're going for. Put them in the comments below. We'll be reading every single one. I'm going to start first. I think it's going to be 3-1 Bournemouth. I think there's going to be another 3-1. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I already had a prediction in my head. You haven't copied me, so that's good. I'm going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth. I think it could quite easily be a draw, and we might have to be patient. But I'm just gonna, there's good vibes at the moment, so I'm gonna say we're gonna nick it. But yeah, I think it'll be harder than people think. I do. I don't think they're not like the lot we played on Monday. They're not like Sheffield United last season. I do think they're better than people give them credit for. And Steve Cooper's always got a team that are hard nut to crack. But I think we'll just nick it, mate. Just nick it. Evan Nilsson and Justin Kluivert with the goals.
Yeah.
Vardy for them, definitely.
It would be interesting to see. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's just before the international break, just want to make sure you get the 3 points.
If Leicester fans don't know, it's after the international break, we've got Arsenal home, Villa away, Man City home. So that's why we're really looking for this one to try and get something from it at least.
I've got a feeling we can get something at Villa. Bayern can't, but I reckon we can.
Yeah, it's so Bournemouth, isn't it?
Just a cheeky little point.
Yeah,
maybe.
that'd be Villa, wouldn't it? Because they drew with Ipswich.
Yeah.
Go and beat Bayern. They only turn up for the big game.
No.
And hopefully Mings will be anyway.
Yeah. So being at the QP, they've always got a load on, of course, when it comes to match day against Arsenal, which is a while away. Of course, you get your usual match day food, get in the raffle as well. But on every other Wednesday, not this Wednesday coming up, the one after that, before the Arsenal game, house music night, mate.
Yeah, they've just started a house music night there. So if any of you like your house, get on down there. Good fun. I'll be down there. I like a bit of house, mate.
Yeah.
I do. So yeah, it'll be good fun. But yeah, like you say, they're doing that fortnightly on a Wednesday evening. So yeah, get on down.
Get on down. Look, however you've been consuming this, whether you've been listening or you've been watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you at the King Power. We're staying up in Leicester overnight, aren't we, mate? So hopefully we can toast the 3 points with a few blackcurrant and sodas.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Or maybe a few of them.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries. Right.